No licking noises. Come up here. Sit. Sit. Stay. Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. This morning, what I would like to talk to you about is something that I'm currently experiencing, and that is PMS. Oh, the joys of having a menstrual cycle. This probably is not a video that a lot of male viewers are going to want to stick around for, but listen, I'm trying to give you a look into the mind of the person in your life who bleeds from their vagina, okay? Or, experiences any sort of PMS like symptoms. Maybe it'll help you learn how to deal with them. Maybe it'll help you learn how to empathize and, not ask people stupid fucking questions. So every single month, like clockwork, my my PMS symptoms surface. And I'm 28. I've had a period every single month since I was 13. So, you know how there's that is it a trope? Is the trope the right word? If you look on the television, if you do research on the television, if you watch TV and there's family sitcoms and they have a teenage girl, she behaves irrationally and she's just fucking crazy. Well, that might have something to do with the fact that PMS exists, and when you first get your period, you don't realize that that is what that is. You just become irrationally angry, your boobs start to hurt, and you just want to eat a bunch of things. And you don't know why. You don't fucking know why, so you don't know how to control it. So people just think that teenage girls are fucking psycho. But really, what's going on? And, first I would like to disclaim everybody experiences PMS differently. This is my experience. I know a lot of people have much worse symptoms than me, and I feel so bad for you. And I'm so sorry that that happens. I'm lucky that now my symptoms are mild. I used to have the worst period symptoms and period ever, all the way up until about 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago. So, ladies, have you ever been, experiencing symptoms of just irritation and, you're a little bit upset and just a little bit heightened and things, small little teeny tiny things that shouldn't upset anybody, they just set you off. And then a guy will be like, whoa, 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 are you on your period? As much as I hate that question, a lot of the times I am PMSing when I've gotten that question. Now, nobody has asked me that in my adult life for the last 3 years. People still asked me 3 years ago because guys are just stupid in that way. And, guys, it's not your fault. You don't have periods, so you don't understand what the fuck we're going through. Women are fucking crazy, and it's their bodies that do it to them, okay? Our bodies are like, we gotta do it to them. Wow, that was cringy, but I love Julian Solomita, so I had to do that to him. And I've learned to recognize, okay, like I said, very small things will just irritate me, like things that are normally perfectly fine. And it starts around a week and a half for me before my period. So it just starts as me being annoyed at normal everyday things. My dog is doing a soft cry right now, just that's something that when I'm not PMSing, it's just like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. But when I am PMSing, I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I just get irritated at small things. Like, I'll be doing something on my phone, and my boyfriend will literally talk to me. He'll just say one thing to me. Doesn't have to be anything that's upsetting, but if I'm doing something, I'm just in my head, I'm like, why would you talk to me right now? Don't you see that I'm doing something? The fucking nerve of you to fucking talk to me. Why would you talk to me? And I've learned to recognize now the symptoms and being able to be like, that is not a thing that you should be upset about. Why are you upset about this? So internally, I'm a crazy fucking bitch, and I am thinking of all sorts of ways that I could fucking murder you so that I don't have to deal with this small irritant and I can just do my thing. I can scroll on Reddit and be unbothered. But outwardly, I'm just mildly irritated. I think I'm literally 7 days out from my period right now. I do have an app where I track it. And so that's really what helped me start to realize that that's what those symptoms were, is because I think like I've been using this app for probably 6 years. Yeah, I've been using this app for like 6 fucking years. And so I started to notice every time that I would get irritated, I would pull up that app and I'd be like, how far out am I from my period? I feel hella fucking irritated this day, but I just use it for like tracking how long my period is because I have a long period and I fucking hate it. You bitches that can have 2 and 3 day periods and they're super light and you don't get cramps and then it's just over with, like, I truly envy you. And also during my PMS symptoms, I want you to fucking die. Because my periods are 7 days. There's no exceptions. There's 7 days. Every time. Every time. And the first day, the first 2 days are always so heavy. And I use a cup now. I don't use tampons. I use a cup and panty liners because, you know, environment, and also I don't want toxic shock syndrome. And my period is so heavy, they're supposed to be able, those cups are supposed to be able to like last, like they're advertised to like, you know, even on your heaviest day, like you don't really have to change it or like empty it or whatever. No. No. When I started using it, I had to empty it like 4 or 5 times on my first and second day because my period is that fucking heavy. Yeah, so anyways, back to my PMS symptoms. Irritation at, you know, the smallest little things, just irrationally angry at tiny everyday things that should not make me angry. Also, I get very scatterbrained. It's crazy. My brain is fucking crazy. And I know it. I'm aware of it. In my mind, I know that I am being just completely irrationally a bitch, but I still can't stop myself from thinking that way. No matter how self aware I am, no matter like how many times I'm like, okay, just ignore it, just stop. My brain will not let me fucking do that. I can control the way that I behave, but I am visibly upset. And I can't help it. I can't help my irrational thoughts. I can't fucking help it. And it's only during this like window of the PMS, all right? On my period, I'm perfectly fine. Like I don't get angry at shit. My boobs just hurt and I'm bleeding. And I get very, very scatterbrained. My memory gets worse. I have a very bad memory as it is, but I become very, very scatterbrained and I forget things and I'm just all over the fucking place. And then closer, so my boobs don't hurt right now. I'm 7 days out and my boobs do not hurt. But I think when I get like 3 days from it starting, my boobs hurt so fucking much. It's kind of similar to, you know, if you go to the gym and you do a lot of weightlifting and your pecs are just sore every time you move, you're like, ow, that fucking hurts. It's similar to that, except it's not because I worked out and it doesn't go away. I just it just fucking hurts. And trying to work out when my boobs are in that fucking state, it's like every single time I move they jiggle, and so that jiggling fucking hurts. If I accidentally like barely touch it, I'm like, ow, that fucking hurts. And it's very painful. Sleeping on my stomach is very painful whenever I am experiencing that. And I'm a stomach sleeper. That's how the fuck I sleep. So I have to like be uncomfortable and sleep on my back, which is not a fun fucking time. Just wait. You're not in any sort of trouble. You just gotta sit there and be quiet. I don't understand why you feel like you have to cry. You're literally a foot away from me. Okay, you're still here. You're still with me. You see, this is how I'm doing. I don't know if you can see him or not, but I'm just like ferociously. Good job. Ferociously scratching. Oh God. I'm irritated at him, but instead of pulling a Brookhouse and being abusive towards my dog. I am just petting his little face and saying, why the fuck are you doing what you're doing? There's no reason for you to be this upset about not being in my lap. You're a foot, you're half a foot from me. You're next to me right now. I'm just asking you to be still and not make licking noises. And that seems to be very difficult for you. And as irritating as it may be, I understand that you're a dog and you don't understand these things. And so I can't be mad at you. Well, I can be mad at you, but I can't act on how mad I am at you. Okay? Because I'm rational even though I have irrational thoughts. This whole thing has gotten away from me. My point is, if you have somebody in your life that you love that has PMS, that goes through this, and you just get upset because you're like, oh, she's on her period again, you gotta understand, there's some crazy shit, going on inside of our fucking heads, dude, and we're trying to wrap our minds around the fact that we know these thoughts are irrational, but we still are thinking these things and we have to behave accordingly. Like, when your mind is consumed by something and so it's kind of hard to pay attention to the outside world and behave normally. That's how it is for me, at least with my PMS symptoms. I'm just like, okay, very irritated. The small thing should not irritate me, yet it does, and it's consuming my thoughts, and I want to set it on fire. I just don't want it to exist anymore. But hey, this person is talking to me. I need to pay attention to what they are saying. I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself? Because I seem to not have been able to hear what you were saying. And then you try to act normally, but it's like, clearly there's something wrong. It's a fucking time. So what I suggest you do is figure out what food they're craving and get them that food. Maybe put a blanket around them. I don't know. Everybody has their own thing. I like to be cozied up and have a blanket on me, and my cravings are different every single month. I would say mostly they're for the stereotypical chocolate. I do crave chocolate like a motherfucker, but also pickles. Ooh, and sometimes corn dogs. All we're asking for, fellas, understand that we are not crazy. And there's a lot that goes on inside of our mind. It's become very clear to me that men's brains do not work the same way that our brains fucking work. And science has proved that. I am not a scientist. I'm not going to put any sort of research into this, okay? I'm not trying to make outlandish claims. This is just, I can't believe that I have to disclaim like this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just somebody who notices things sometimes, even though I'm mostly oblivious to the outside world a lot. But as somebody who has been in several relationships with men, and I have a woman's brain, men's brains don't work like our fucking brains, man. My brain is like always firing back and forth. There is always something going on inside of my head. I'm thinking about every single little possible thing that could happen and how it affects like other people. And like all of my boyfriends, they're like, I guess I just didn't think about that. And like, it seems like they can sit there and their mind can literally be blank. Like every single boyfriend that I've had, they have the ability to zone out and not think about a single solitary fucking thing. But when I zone out, I'm staring off into space, but my mind is like going through like several thousand different like things, and all of a sudden I'll catch myself and like come back into like this consciousness, but still my mind is going at like 1,000 million miles per fucking hour. And falling asleep is a chore for me because my brain does not stop going. Every single boyfriend I've ever had can fall asleep, and I had oils on my hand, on my finger, so that snap didn't really work, but they can fall asleep in the blink of a fucking eye. Like, what do you fucking mean? What do you fucking mean? So fellas, our brains are chemically and scientifically different. If you notice that your woman is acting a little bit more irrational, a little bit just kind of crazy, just to know that there's crazy shit that goes on inside of our head. Our bodies are doing crazy shit to us. And don't even get me started on if you knock one of us up and then we're pregnant, and then the pregnancy hormones, they make bitches crazy. Fucking Google pregnancy hormone symptoms, side effects, like what can happen. Pregnant bitches be fucking crazy, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's your fault. It's your fault for putting that fucking fetus inside of them, and it's leaching, and you know, they have to eat for two, and they have emotions for two, and just everything is fucking crazy. So be glad if your person is not pregnant that the symptoms that they show of PMS is very, very mild, okay? God bless all of you who deal with pregnant women. That's just fucking too much. I feel very sorry for people who are pregnant and all of the crazy things that they have to fucking experience. And yeah, this video was very all over the place, but please be nice to the people in your life with PMS. Don't ask them if they're PMSing if they say something or do something that seems a little out of character, okay? Because nothing makes me want to murder you more than when I have a legitimate thing that I'm upset about, or I'm trying to control my irrational thing that I'm upset about, and somebody goes, what are you, PMSing or something? Like, what's going on? Like, completely discredits the way that I feel. I know that the way that I feel is crazy, but also when I'm not PMSing, if I'm upset about something, I have legitimate reasons to be upset, okay? It's not always because I'm PMSing. Just, yeah. So, be nice to us. Give us fluffy things to be surrounded by. Chocolate if that's what we're craving. You know, find out what they're craving. Find out what they want. If it's to be left the fuck alone, then leave them the fuck alone. Just leave them alone. They don't have to be attached to your hip 24 fucking 7. Leave them alone. It's not because they don't like you. It's because they need to be by them fucking selves. Be nice to the people in your life that experience PMS, and don't call them crazy, and don't ask them if they're PMSing. Just accommodate them accordingly, and be glad that you don't have to fucking go through that. I hate that I have a period. I wish it would go the fuck away. I really do. Can't wait for menopause. Thinking about getting my tubes tied, like, honestly. Okay, love, see you later, bye. Don't sit there and softly cry. I'm literally right here. You don't have to cry. I just don't want your dog noises in my microphone. He looks so sad right now.